Hello, welcome back to my channel. It is Amanda. Today we're going to be talking about the last month of palettes in my project palette, use every palette in my collection this year project. If you are unfamiliar, at the beginning of the year I started rotating through all of my palettes each month so that I would use every palette that I own at least once or twice, you know, hopefully more than that, but at least a few times so I could get a good feel as to whether I want to keep it, whether I want to declutter it, all of the things. We are to the last month. I have successfully done it. I have decluttered a few along the way. I will be doing a roundup video at the end of the year, and I will talk about the palettes that I've decluttered, and I feel really good about it. I'm going to very quickly go over the palettes that I used last month and just give you some initial, just some quick thoughts about them, and then I will talk about the palettes that I'm going to be using in December. This year is over. What? Oh my gosh. Let's get into it. Alright, I'm going to talk about them in the order that they are listed on the little sheet here. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to grab from the top of the pile. So the first palette is the smallest palette, and this is the Catrice 5 in a Box Mini Eyeshadow Palette with Rose Oil, and I have the Soft Rose look. I really actually like this, and I was kind of surprised because this is a very simple color story, and you know, I'm all about the color, but on the days that I just don't have time to, you know, apply the darker shades where I want them, this is really nice. I like the formula on these two shimmery shades are very creamy. They apply beautifully. I just use my fingers, but they apply beautifully. I was using this palette a lot actually as sort of a companion palette for the matte shades, because a lot of the other palettes that I had this month didn't have a brown matte in them for some reason. That's just how the generator chose the palettes. So I was using this one a lot to complete, you know, those looks, because I do like a brown transition shade. But I really like this. I know that Ulta is no longer carrying Catrice. There's a Catrice US website for us that live in the US. I would be interested to try others in the in this line. I know there's a bluish one that of course I want, but I really like this, and I think it was $6. Extremely affordable. And not just good for the price, I think this is a good quality. So it held up well on my eyes. I have no issues with that. The next one is the Rare Beauty Confident Energy Palette. This is her holiday palette from last year. I actually have both of them in here. These are both their holiday palettes from last year. This is the Magnetic Spirit palette, the green, blue, brown, this random pink in here that I actually didn't use. That should have been my challenge. Use this coral pink. I'm not a coral pink person, you know. If you're not new, you know. I just like these palettes. First of all, I think the packaging is absolutely beautiful. But I really like this palette. I prefer this one over the purple pink. I'm actually wearing the purple pink today. This is called Magnetic Spirit. Did I say that one's called Confident Energy? I don't remember. This is the one I'm wearing today, and I do like it. This purple is a very blackened purple, so it buffs out black on your eyes. But that's fine. And then this is what I'm wearing. It's the end of the day, so I don't know how much is left, but this is what I'm wearing on the inner corner, and then I have a little bit of this pink shade in the middle. I just prefer the color story in the other one. I'm going to keep both of these because I like how they perform. These are companion palettes. They're all shimmer. There's no mattes in here. That doesn't really bother me. I have a ton of palettes, so I don't really need any more mattes. But I do like those, and I enjoyed using them. Alright, next we have the Juvia's Place, the Rebel Army Quad. I think that this is beautiful. I can't figure out the best way to work with Juvia's Place shimmers. They don't really apply that well with a brush, and they don't really apply that well with my finger. I don't really know how else you would apply them. Do I need a sponge tip applicator? I don't know. I like the colors in here. I'm going to keep it. This is a $10 quad. I don't dislike this, but I haven't found a way to use any of my Juvia's Place shimmers that I just love. And I know that they're beautiful because I see people wearing them and they're beautiful. So I guess I should pay attention to how they're applying them. because maybe I'm using the wrong brush. That's very possible. Next we have the Lorac Pro Metal palette. This is a little companion metallic palette. I think this is nice. Lorac is not known for having, you know, the most dazzling metallic shades, shimmer shades. These are not metallic actually, they're shimmery. I still think that they are really pretty. This is one that I can see myself decluttering at some point, but I really love this blue. I really love this blue. So I'm going to keep this. It doesn't take up a lot of space in my collection, and I do enjoy the palette when I use it. All right, now we have some ColourPop palettes. The Main Squeeze palette. This is a very red palette. I didn't use this one a lot. However, I love ColourPop eyeshadows. I don't often want to get rid of them, and I also have almost no red eyeshadow. I think every red eyeshadow I have is from ColourPop. So I do want to keep these because these are slightly different than the reds that I have in other palettes. There's nothing wrong with this. The quality is fine. I didn't get a chance to use it that much because we were really busy in November and I didn't have time to I feel like you have to fuss with red eyeshadow. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Next we have the Sweet Talk palette. This is a beautiful peachy coral palette. This is as peachy as I get. These are pretty deep peachy colors. And there's a Super Shock shadow in here. A beautiful topper shade. There are two pressed glitters in here, which I said I was going to use the pressed glitters in nail art and I totally didn't. But this is a great ColourPop palette. I will be keeping this one. It's one of my favorite ColourPop palettes. Then we have the My Little Pony palette. This one is no longer available. I think this is a really nice palette. It's a little bit older at this point and you can kind of tell. So I think that I'm going to hold this one to the side. This is going in the maybe decluttering pile because the shades are getting a little bit crumbly to work with, and that just usually means it's time. So I want to put that in the maybe pile, but I do think that palette is really cute. Next we have the Menage a Moi palette. This is their holiday palette from last year. I love this palette. This could be an everyday palette for me. It is so beautiful. I love these mauve-y colors. I think they look really nice on my skin tone and with my eye color. Even the pressed glitters in here, I don't wear them often, but when I do, they do adhere better than some of the other pressed glitters. It feels like there's almost like a gel base to them. I just think that palette is so beautiful. And then the last two are both from Glamlite. This is my first time using Glamlite. I purchased the Wine palette and then also the Dirty Martini palette. I wore each of these 3 times last month, so that's not a ton of time to play with a new to me brand. But I'm impressed enough that, you know, I'm gonna look up their Black Friday sale and see what they have going on. These are beautiful. Purple and green are my favorite eyeshadow colors, so I didn't really think that I wouldn't like these. Look at all the purples. Look at all the greens. I mean, I didn't think that I wouldn't like these. It was just a formula, testing experience, and they're both really nice. Now we are going to talk about the palettes that I have left in my collection. There are 10. I'm gonna tell you right now, there are that are not on the list that have been added to my collection, but we'll talk about that at a later time. Again, it's a lot of ColourPop palettes because they make up about 1/3 of my eyeshadow palette collection because I love ColourPop. So I'm going to talk about the 2 that are not ColourPop first, and then the rest are ColourPop. First, very seasonally appropriate, we have the Lorac Neon Lights palette. I already know that I like this palette, so if I don't use this one as much as I am hoping, I'm not going to feel that bad. I know I like this palette. But, you know, neon in December is not, typically what I wear. But I'm not opposed to it. And the next palette is the LA Girl Main Stage palette in Backstage. And I have not used this at all yet, but I have several in this kind of line from LA Girl in this 16 pan format, and I really enjoy the shadows that in those other palettes, so I'm hoping this is the same quality because, I mean, blue, purple, and green, my 3 favorite eyeshadow colors. There are 7 mattes in here, and then the rest are shimmery metallics, and I am just here for it. But I have not used this yet. I got this on clearance at Ulta for $4. All right, let's do the other two non-seasonal ones. So we have In a Trance, this cotton candy color scheme. Again, I'm not planning on getting a ton of use out of this month, but I have used it to know that I like the shades. But maybe I'll want a dreamy look one day. I don't know. I don't know what my mood's gonna be. And then the other is Mint to Be. Mint greens, anyone? Hello. I think these will look very nice in conjunction with each other, and also look at how fun these are. Mint, purple mint. Then we have the Ooh La La palette. This was one of their first monochromatic palettes. Was this their first? I don't remember. I actually won this in a giveaway from ColourPop Cult and Angela Mary Tanner. I won this. But I've used this enough to know that I also like that palette. I'm going to have to wear some hot pink eyeshadow in December. It'll be fine. Next for the 9 pans we have the Blue Moon palette. Again, none of these are seasonally appropriate, but we can make it work. Maybe I'll do some Christmas light makeup. No. I mean, I'm 100% not going to do that, but you just don't know. We have a discontinued palette. This is the Dream Street palette. I, again, know I love this palette, but I haven't used this one in a while, so I'm excited to play with this. This is a collab with Kathleen Lights. Was this the first one? I don't know. She's done so many. I don't remember which is first, but I love this red in here. It's very orangey red. Beautiful. Then we have Lush Life. Are you telling me this is not the most beautiful thing you've ever seen? I don't believe you. This is a newer palette to my collection, so I've only used this one a few times. But I can tell you right now, this bottom row, it just makes me super happy. And then also all of these shimmers. And then we have the Powerpuff Girls, I almost said website, palette. It's just called the Powerpuff Girls, right? Is it called something? Nope. The Powerpuff Girls. This one is, I hate when they have larger pans than all of the other pans. I don't know why, that just bothers me. Make them all the same size. And I don't think I've used this at all. But I like that there's a neutral row, a kind of muted row, and then a brighter row. I like that. So we're gonna have some Powerpuff Girls makeup. Lastly, we have Stone Cold Fox. This is the, I have 3 Mega palettes. I have 3 of their Mega palettes, and this is the last one I haven't used. It's very cool and neutral. And this shade right here, where is it? Caving In, is beautiful. I haven't used a lot of the other ones. I'm actually pumped for this silver too. That's gonna be fun. That's the last grouping of palettes I get to use this year from my collection. I'm pretty excited. Let me know if you have any favorite looks with any of these palettes. Thank you so much. I will talk to you guys in my next video.